Hello friends, we start our web series Unplugged on IndianRadiologist-dot-com with Dr. Sumer Sethi. He's a radiologist from MAMC, Delhi, and he is also the man who runs DAMS, which is India's largest MBBS teaching program. So Sumer, welcome to the show, and before we start asking you questions on radiology, let us know a little bit about DAMS. How did it all begin?
Thank you, Dr. Sanjeev, for having me here. DAMS evolved as a small organization in Delhi where we were teaching doctors for postgraduate entrance exam, and but now it has gradually evolved into a very mature medical education centric company in the country, which with around 200 centers across the country. And I'm very proud to share with you today that not only are we now running courses for doctors aspiring to do post graduation in India, we are even running courses for people who want to do DM or MCH entrance exam. We are also running courses for dental graduates as well as for USMLE aspirants. We use various technological inputs to spread that education. We are the India's first people to use satellite technology to do video conferencing, that we utilize that so that we can even run classes in places like in Srinagar in Kashmir and in places like Andaman Nicobar in Port Blair. So we are running classes in places where it was geographically very difficult to run a classroom program. So there we use satellite technology, and we also use mobile technology. We have a e-learning mobile app called as eMedicos, through which we learn. We use the mobile interface to plug the gaps in the knowledge wherever we can.
So you wear many hats. You do teleradiology, you run DAMS. So how's it that you manage both of them? Do you do some hours separate for teleradiology and some hours separate for DAMS? Let us know how you spread your day out with your work.
Oh, it is a very interesting question that you put to me, Sanjeev. Here is that, like, how do I see teleradiology and DAMS and teleeducation separate? But to me, as an entrepreneur, I look at them with a similar vision. My goal in both of them is to fill up gaps. When I started teleradiology, I think around 8 to 10 years back, my goal was to create an interface where we can reach out with radiologists to places where they don't have radiologists. And you might take both of what I'm doing as different, but to me they are same. To me, in my idea, it is just filling up the gaps. DAMS on the teleeducation network that we run is filling up a gap in the education sector, while teleradiology is my filling up the gap in the radiology shortage that we have in the country. And similarly, we have utilized this. We have some clients in the African continent as well, where we have a similar dynamics where radiologists are not there, and we kind of fill up the gap. So how many hours do I put in a day is a very difficult question, but I do put in a significant amount of my time to work. You may actually say that, you may say that I'm a workaholic, maybe, but I work very hard because I like what I'm doing. Like, I always had two passions in life. One was education, one was technology. So I kind of merge all of this together into delivering what I'm doing. So I really don't feel that I'm working. So, but if I look at the conventional definition of work, I'm most of the time working. So that would be it.
So what are your Sundays like? Do you rest on Sundays? Do you work on Sundays? Are you a workaholic? Let us know a little bit more about your Sundays and other days of the week.
Now, again, you put in a very interesting question here about Sunday. Like, most of my Sundays I devote to teaching, because most of the time doctors and the young doctors who want to study, and I take radiology for them. So most of the time they are most free on Sunday. So to me, because being an entrepreneur, you are more in control of your time. So I create my own Sunday in between. That would be like sometimes in a weekday, or sometimes when I'm traveling on a flight where you have nothing to do. I use that window to find out what I really want to do.
So what is your take on artificial intelligence versus teleradiology?
Now, in teleradiology, I have personally seen it growing every year. Now, this has been my experience that when I started it off, we used to talk to hospitals and they used to be surprised. They used to actually laugh at us that, do you really think that a radiologist is not going to come and you're going to do work from us using teleradiology? So it has grown. So my vision is it will grow and it will evolve. And when we started teleradiology, the biggest noise around was that these teleradiologists will replace radiologists. But now when I look at 10 years now, we actually are coexisting with each other. We never replaced globally. Globally, you can see there is a role for an in-house radiologist, there is a role for a teleradiologist. Similar noises I hear when you hear people talking about artificial intelligence replacing radiologists. I beg to differ. I feel that this is like we end up overestimating a technology right now and the impact right now. It would end up merging with the way we are working today. I feel that artificial intelligence will evolve so much that every radiologist in future would have a platform or a app store or something like that, where you will be able to pick up solutions that you like to use with your workflow, and it will all merge into this. A patient will not know, and that entire thing about a robot reading your report and all, I don't think that is going in that direction. It is going into making radiologists or doctors and everybody involved into healthcare and probably into every industry more efficient.
So this question is in two parts. What is your advice to young, bright students of the country? Should they pursue MBBS as a career? And question number two is, for those MBBS doctors, is radiology still a wonderful line to continue with and make a career of?
It's a very good question that you've asked me here, because I really want to talk about it. That why do you think that the bright doctors in our country should opt for medicine? Definitely, bright students should come towards medical profession. And unfortunately in our country, and probably it is true for most of the developing world, that they have the media and the mass media has somehow focused on the negative aspects more, because maybe that is what the news is. But still I feel we are a well respected lot. Even today when I go to a hospital and I meet some patient who says, sir, you reported my MRI and you told me the right thing so many years back, it's still happening. So vast majority of patients, they still regard doctors at a good position, and we are still doing good work. Medical profession, I feel, is a evergreen profession, and I feel more and more people should take it. Another point that I want to add here is about radiology, because world over there is a noise being made that radiology is a specialty which will be taken over by artificial intelligence. I feel it is going to be the reverse. When the computers came in radiology, we kind of reinvented radiology itself. Now we are not doing what people in 1960s were doing. So people 60 years, 70 years from now will not be doing what we are doing. So that technology will reinvent. And in radiology, do not look at the technology as a threat. Look at it as an opportunity to be the flag bearer of the new technology. In radiology, we have always been that. When the computers came, they came first to radiology. When the digitization came, it came first to radiology. When telemedicine came, so you remember, teleradiology is the poster boy for telemedicine. What other telemedicine application has made viable business other than teleradiology? So similarly, I feel as we go forward, radiologists will become the flag bearers for the machine learning and how it should be used in healthcare. Do not be afraid to take up radiology. I feel it is the right time to enter radiology, as right as it was 2 decades back to 1 decade back. We are in the same position. Technology will reinvent the way we do things, but it has always reinvented in the last 2 decades. 2 decades back, people who were working as radiologists were doing something else. We are doing something else. 2 decades later, people will be doing something else. But that role will get redefined. And the things which are repetitive, mundane, they will be gradually being done more and more automatically, like it has happened in the past as well. The doctors of the future and the radiologists of the future will be more towards creativity and curiosity. I also believe firmly that intervention radiology will also have a bigger role to play in future with the advent of the more and more capabilities that the minimally invasive procedures are getting now. So radiology is a good branch to take. I believe it. I totally believe it.